Having capably concluded another awe-inspiring adventure, Commander Video and Command Girl Video now find themselves vacationing in the famously flavorful world known as Foodland. After victoriously vanquishing their adept adversaries in Foodland's semi-biweekly, semi-annual bratwurst pageant, to the distinct delight of the rapturous rapscallions, the commanders are now sunbathing beneath the bright blue sky on the salty shores of Nut Beach. Suddenly and unceremoniously, our convivial comrades are smacked by a troublesome tunagram. The dorsal fin dispatch asks them to make haste to a nearby alleyway known for its seedy clientele. The invitation feels ominous, fishy even. All the same, they set out at once. It's not long before they find themselves face to face with an amicable and enigmatic individual who introduces himself as Cheese Throat. He wastes no time warning the commanders of the Timbletots' terrifying return. Worse yet, he informs them of their repugnant rival's pernicious plan to infect the innocent Foodland with something called the wheat germ. Should he succeed, it will no doubt be Foodland's most calamitous occurrence since the Tupper Wars of yore. Knowing this is likely just the beginning of this viperous villain's malevolent machinations, the commanders thank the vexing visitor and set off at once. There's no telling where this sure-to-be amazing adventure will take them, but one thing is for certain. They may have left the oven on. The inhabitants of Foodland had one thing in common. It was their love of Sausage Santa. He was a king amongst kings. They'd often say, a veritable force of integrity, compassion, and cheddar.
He was the Sausage Santa, cherished leader of Foodland. It's hard to rhyme with Santa, and for that we should have planned.
Wet Fart Cheeseburger, his closest friend and advisor, was the first to notice when Sausage Santa had changed. His appetite for joy had been replaced with a thirst for destruction. His cheddar filling, now more of a monster. He imprisoned two of his knights, Terry Tomato and Pete's Potato, for the crime of having dumb names. And worse yet, he threw away Bigfoot's most prized possession, his bald spot.
How does one remove a bald spot? I cannot even guess. It seems like it would hurt a lot and leave a gross abscess.
Oh, what a nightmare! The scrumptious kingdom of Foodland was in grave danger. It was clear to Wet Fart now that the dastardly Timbletot was pulling the strings on this metallic impostor of the Sausage Santa. And although it was a long shot, he decided to seek the help of his oldest friends.
The commanders did what they did best. They kicked him both at butt. They kicked it east, they kicked it west. They showed him what was what.
The day was saved, yet Wet Fart was nowhere to be found. Nobody knew where it was he'd gone. But there were theories. Some say he's been busy behind the scenes, helping the commanders in ways they don't even realize. Others say the creators of Runner 3 were pressed for time and unable to animate another character. It's a mystery that haunts the otherwise jovial Sausage Santa to this very day.
Foodland saved and so's the day, so now we bid adieu. But first let's shout hip hip hooray for commanders brave and true.
Sometimes, when the weather conditions are just right, you can see Glorns towering above the Spookyland sign. He's been there as long as anyone can remember, coming down but once a year to partake in the only holiday celebrated in Spookyland, Arbor Day.
Glorns was what they called him, because that was his name. They could have called him John or Jim, but that would have been lame.
A private being, Glorns rarely made an attempt to communicate with his subjects. Indeed, those who had spoken to him could be counted on the hands of the rare two-fingered nematode. The universe was filled with worlds ruled by oppressive dictators, but Spookyland was different. It was more freer. This is how it had always been, and is how the inhabitants of Spookyland like it.
Names can be deceiving. Spookyland was a great place. They validated parking and their healthcare plans were ace.
But all I fear was not well in Spookyland. After eons of peaceful living, the world's inhabitants now found themselves in grave danger. The home they loved so dearly had suddenly and viciously become for the birds. Sent by the Timbletot, they arrived in the dead of night, cooling their diabolical threats at anyone who dared look at them. They called themselves the Parliament of Owls, and they informed the inhabitants of Spookyland that Glorns had surrendered all power to them. All hope, it seemed, was lost until the commanders arrived.
The owls were defeated and forcibly dethroned. They then promptly retreated because they had been owned.
The commanders made quick work of the Parliament of Owls, freeing the imprisoned Glorns from his rusty shackles. Grateful to be a free man once again, the corners of Glorns' lips inverted ever so slightly into a smile, so subtle that some would say it wasn't there at all.
Spookyland saved and so's the day, so now we bid adieu. But first let's shout hip hip hooray, commanders hooray.
Having retired from his days of adventure with the commanders, Radbot felt the time had come to return to his home of Machineland. Eager to make a difference, he threw his hat in the ring for ruler of Machineland, a role which would make him the official measuring instrument of the world. Despite his lack of political experience, he managed to beat out his opponent, Vince Vacuum, who most agreed sucked in the debates.
Radbot was the ruler of Machineland, it is true. There was nobody cooler, except possibly you.
This is my true calling, he thought to himself while measuring a phone. Radbot was happier than he'd ever been, which is why it pains me to say what happens next. It was so awful, so unspeakable, that I have no choice but to whisper it. While Radbot's back was turned, a fish foe usurped control of Machineland.
You may recall Reverse Merman for Runner3, oh yes. Not everybody was a fan for reasons obvious.
What a shocking turn of events! Machineland, the engine of the universe, had been commandeered by a strange mechanical being who went by the name of Reverse Mermac. The commanders had no time to mourn the fact that their old pal Reverse Merman had been brainwashed by the Timbletot. They needed to take him down, and they needed to do it on the double.
They had to humble their old friend, it made them oh so sad. His reign of terror had to end, his fish must have gone bad.
Reverse Mermac had been destroyed. Machineland was saved. The commanders were in hot pursuit of the Timbletot now, eager to put a stop once and for all to his nefarious escapades. Would they be able to pull off such a formidable feat? How should I know? I'm a puppeteer, not a psychic. Until next time!
Machineland saved and so's the day. Before we say goodbye, we'd like to thank Charles Martinet for being our great guide.
Having finally toppled the Timbletot's rancorous regime, our team of elated adventurers resolved to return to the savory Shangri-La known as Foodland. The commanders are comforted to find Nut Beach just as they left it, stunning, serene, and seductively pungent. The oft unflappable Commander Video is pleased as a pickled pear to be in such a perfectly peaceful place with peerless pals both past and present. Emotions that a celebration is in order, and his amicable associates animatedly agree. Uncle Dill eagerly grills up some of his fragrant cutie patooties. Sadbot punctiliously prepares their terrible durian tartare. Auntie Ruti accidentally overcooks her prickly peppered popsicles. Poor kids. As the commanders celebrate alongside their elated allies, they notice a curious customer watching them wistfully from afar. The unusual outsider ambles over apprehensively, no doubt starstruck by all the heroic heroes in their presence. They hand the commanders a condiment-covered envelope and depart, blowing a gluten-filled kiss as they disappear from view. Just who is this red-headed interloper, and why do the commanders feel as though they've met before? We may never know. Our heroes open the envelope and leer lengthily at the oily onion skin inside it, no doubt internalizing the indelible importance of the mysterious message. Then, in near-perfect unison, they run. There's no telling who delivered this dispatch or what it might have said, but it seems to have inspired our cheeky champions to swiftly set out on their next valorous adventure.